All right, who out there remembers when David the Dobrik, famous YouTuber, sold this $100,000 puzzle to his fans and was actually accused of scamming his fans? Ooh. About a month ago, I remembered that this existed, and I always thought it was a really funny story, and I bought one myself so I could really get to the bottom of what this thing is all about. Two birds, one stone. I'm gonna win $100,000 and put out another YouTube video. But let's talk about how it actually came to be. In the internet space back in 2020, David Dobrik was really at his peak, and it was a common meme for people to go online and ask him for a new car or for a bunch of money, because he was always giving stuff away to people in his videos. He loved giving stuff away.
Shut the f*** up! Holy shit! Oh my god, it's beautiful! Oh, no. My suit's wet!
He was Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast. He was David Beast. So he basically goes online and is like, all my fans always ask me for money, this and that. So I came up with a great way to give all of you guys money in the form of this new thing called the $100,000 puzzle.
One of the most common comments I see is you guys asking me for money. So I finally figured out a way to get all of you guys money. I sound like a scam, but this isn't a scam. Listen, I made this puzzle. It's called the $100,000 puzzle by David Dobrik. That's me. So this is how it works. You get the puzzle, you start building it. It takes a while. And then when you're done, you take your camera on your phone just like that, and then you scan it because it's a QR code. And look, now it'll load your prize, and you're going to 100% win. Anywhere from 25 cents to $100,000. And I won 25 cents. You win.
And as it says on the box, everyone is a winner. It doubles down. It actually says, no, seriously, guys, you can't lose. This seems like a scam. No, it's not. You win. You win every time. Everyone's a winner as long as you solve the puzzle. So honestly, in concept as an influencer product, it's kind of fun. It's a good little gimmick, you know. But a lot of people would say that there is a catch. Actually, two catches, I would say, which led a lot of people into claiming that this is kind of a scam. So not only will I break down the drama, but I also am going to take a deep dive into the puzzle itself and actually get to the bottom of whether or not this feels like David Dobrik might be scamming his little fans. So the puzzle gets announced, and he sells 17,000 of them within an hour and grosses about $500,000 off of these. But once people got their grubby little hands on this, there were some concerns that came up. The first concern being that the puzzle itself is really hard, apparently. Everyone's talking about how it's like impossible to solve.
It takes a while. How long? Like it takes a long time. You don't even have a cheat sheet to do it.
And a lot of that is because the puzzle is just a QR code. It's just green and black lines. And a lot of the pieces look very similar. There's no reference of where it might be on the photo. It's all green and black. So most people who bought the $30 puzzle never even got around to solving it and scanning the code, because it's well, you know, I'll talk about how hard it was. I mean, not being able to solve a really hard puzzle is not a scam in itself. No, seriously, you can't lose unless you can't solve the puzzle at all in the first place. This is 500 pieces, by the way. Now, the other catch to this whole thing is that the probabilities of you winning and how much you're going to win has to legally be disclosed online. So people started breaking down the math, and on the website for the puzzle, it is shown that there is only one first place prize of the $100,000. So there is one the $100,000 puzzle. They should have called it a $100,000 puzzle. And it also states that the odds of winning are 1 in 100,000, which I think means that they made 100,000 of the puzzles. 100,000 $30 puzzles. That's like, what, $3 million or something? I don't know. Okay, so 50 of the puzzles, the second place prize, they're all going to get $1,000. There's 50 people that win $500, 50 people win $250. It keeps going down until you get to the bottom. 95,000 of the puzzles out of 100,000 are going to win 25 cents. Now, if we go up to my graph here, that means that 95% of all people who buy the puzzle are going to get 25 cents. The big number that people felt upset about is when people did the math and learned that your chances of winning enough money to profit off of the puzzle, which would be more than $30, your chances would be 0.65%. So if everybody who bought the puzzle finished the puzzle and claimed their prize, then David would be paying out about $250,000. So he's giving out $250,000. $100,000 of that is just goes to one person. So I always found it extremely funny that the point of the puzzle was for David to be able to give his fans money like they always ask.
So I finally figured out a way to get all of you guys money.
But the key to unlocking the puzzle is really hard, and even if you do spend the hours and hours trying to solve it, you're still probably going to get 25 cents. Okay, so I've laid out a lot of controversy, and there are basically like two sides to the whole thing. So there was one side of people who were pretty critical who said, like, it kind of feels like the opposite of giving your fans money, and it basically is like a lottery ticket, which is already pretty predatory, but this is a $30 lottery ticket, and it's locked behind a really hard puzzle. A lot of people are like, oh, you've got a lot of young fans. How is this any different than gambling? Now, on the other side of it, you had a lot of David Dobrik fans who were like, he was pretty transparent in the video, and he was pretty transparent in the TikTok. He scanned one of them himself. He won 25 cents.
25 cents. You win and you win, but sometimes you don't win a lot. But this is it. It's fucking sick. I'm gonna leave this link in my bio. Go get one for yourself. Go get one for a friend for Christmas, whatever. And do me a favor, record your reaction, because you're gonna win anywhere from 25 cents to $100,000.
The girls in his video were trying to solve the puzzle and they couldn't. It's not like he was like, oh, the puzzle's really easy and you're gonna get rich off of it. David didn't force anyone to buy a puzzle. It's more about the experience and the fun of the puzzle. Some guy did the math of what the average winnings are for everybody who buys this puzzle, and the number came out to negative $28. And according to the article that I read in the Math Guy, he said that most lottery tickets have an average winning of just negative a few cents. So my initial theory when I heard about this was that the odds of finishing the puzzle and winning a grand prize that you would actually redeem are so low. Chances are the person who wins the $100,000, it's probably someone with a puzzle that they never even finished. David wouldn't have to pay out like 40% of the prize pool, which is the $100,000. And that was one of the biggest things for me, because even with legally disclosing the probability, it doesn't factor in people who might buy the puzzle and not even cash it out. But I at least am happy to say that that is not what happened. In March of 2021, we had a lot of the drama surrounding the Vlog Squad. We got this classic David Dobrik apology video. But on March 25th, a video from the Instagram account of the puzzle. What the hell? Okay, well, I was just taken to the Instagram page of the puzzle, but it looks like they changed their name to the $2 million puzzle. But what I was saying is that the Instagram account put out a video showing them actually rewarding someone with the $100,000 prize. Now, there's a lot of people that felt like no one actually won the 500K, so he kind of just like picked a random person who did the puzzle, which would make sense. If you're selling $100,000 puzzles, I think there's a very, very high chance that the person who actually has the winning puzzle didn't finish it or scan it or whatever. I also don't know if they actually sold all 100,000 of the puzzles. So I have to assume that because they like showed up with a check and all this stuff, that they needed a winner, and so they gave, you know, whatever. Someone on Reddit posted the video of them winning the money. What the hell? AI baby. What? Every time I click the link, they show me something else. Oh, by the way, I would love to look at more YouTuber products. I liked the way I was able to make this video because I got to just take a lot of footage of me trying to do a puzzle, and it was funny. So if there's any other YouTuber products or things that you think I should buy and talk about, please let me know. There was only one way to find out whether or not this puzzle was a big scam, or if it's just a fun little game and people are taking it too seriously. So like a month ago, I bought one of these on eBay for $15, about half the price of the original puzzle. And I biked the puzzle to my bestest friend Taylor's house, who I saw doing a puzzle one time in her apartment, and it was good enough for me. I thought she must have been the best puzzle expert that I, you know, had in my vicinity. So I took the puzzle to her. $100,000 coming right up. Can you open this for me? Now, as you can see, we open up the box. There's some edge pieces that are still connected in there. So we knew that the person who sold this had tried it already, and who knows if he finished it, who knows if he scanned the puzzle already, but we're dealing with a used product here. The fact that they have part of the puzzle done might mean that they've already finished the puzzle and they just put it on eBay after they completed it. So we started with the edge pieces, obviously, and it was already way harder than we thought it was going to be. So many of the pieces look so similar. This piece looks like reminds me of Shrek. This piece also reminds me of Shrek. Yo, this one reminds me of Shrek too. Not like the movie Shrek, just Shrek also. And a lot of the side pieces, it's just like a bunch of pieces next to each other that look exactly the same.
See, this one's so close. Hey, Frida. This one's so close to connecting.
I don't think there's any other side pieces. I think I've finished the puzzle in terms of sorting them between side pieces.
Pick up the phone.
I should be
no.
having
Pick up the phone and look at how many connected pieces I have. Just,
Why are you acting like I wasn't doing something
I got this
when I was sorting the freaking pieces? I was just doing a different job. It just didn't yield as much, and now you're shitting on me for it. It just pisses me the fuck off.
I don't know why they make me laugh. Batman, Spider-Man, Joker, like just.
I wonder if his pizza restaurant's still going. Dobrik.
Wait, yeah, wasn't it like really bad?
Was it really bad? I don't know. I guess I'll talk about it in the video. Maybe I'll look it up.
Okay, so I deep dived into Dobrik's Pizza. Nothing weird going on over there. Everything looks good. They're still selling the pizza. He came out with a bag of chips. I guess that's what David's been up to.
You hit the vape?
Obviously, yeah.
When?
I didn't know. Remember, I went.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that girl who got canceled because she was like a channel that talked about her dog, beautiful dog she had.
And she like fucked
She
it?
accidentally.
So after we finished the border, we dumped the pieces on, and that's when I started to realize that like we hadn't even gotten to the hard part yet. Because if you look at the puzzle, there's only the border of it is finished, and there's so many other pieces that are going to be a part of that chances are if you pick up a piece, it's not going to fit on the border. It's going to fit with another piece in this massive pile of puzzle pieces that all look the same. And even after I connected all the edge pieces, I still was missing a few that I think I might have just not been able to find in the pile. And so we kind of had some of an outline. We got our first non-border connection. It's not connected to the border. Nothing's connected to the border.
Nothing's connected to the board.
I had this running theory that this corner of the puzzle, the green on it was much more washed out than the rest of the green around the puzzle. And so I had to assume that not only did this person connect the border together, but it was left out and either someone spilled water on it or the sun, something happened. Now my theory is that if we can find other pieces close to that corner that have the green washed out a little bit like it is, then that can give us a proximity of where those pieces are. Does that make sense? But my issue was I kept looking for other non-edge pieces that looked like they were washed out, and they all had the glossy green color on it that definitely did not fit in that section.
You know what I love? You know what I love about this city is that Chicago is all about people. It's all about making connections with other human beings, just spreading positivity, and making a positive impact on someone's day. I just walked an old lady across the street today and stopped her from getting hit by a big truck.
After a few hours of messing with the puzzle, I found my first piece that was actually connected to the border of the puzzle. So guys, I actually just now got the first piece that's connected to a border. Let me make sure that it's not wiggly.
I don't think it's that.
No, it is.
You forced it in there.
Look at the top and the bottom.
No, he doesn't.
There's not even a gap.
He said you put that.
Look, oh my god, it actually is. I was just sitting here in the dark with my flashlight. I can hear my mouth. My mouth is dry. Oh my god. I forgot to tell everyone, I actually am taking care of Galactus for my uncle right now. I went to go see Fantastic Four at the movies, and my uncle went, and he wanted to get the Galactus popcorn bucket, but they sold out of them in his theater, so I decided to go get Galactus for him. Yeah, I don't know where to put this in my apartment. It's huge. So I went up to the concession stand after the movie because I didn't know about, you know, my uncle's situation before the movie. And I was like, hey, can I get one of the Galactus popcorn buckets? But I do not need the free popcorn that comes with it. Because you buy one of these, you know, this is supposed to be it's a popcorn bucket, but no one wants all the greasy shit in their popcorn bucket, so they give you a large popcorn on the side, and you also get a free drink. Now, I finished watching the movie already, so I already paid for my icy, and I paid for my candy, and so I got out of the movie. My tummy's hurting a little bit because when, you know, I'm just eating crap, and so I go get the Galactus head. That is $80, by the way, $80. You get a large popcorn and a large drink. And I was like, no, it's fine. I already saw the movie. I already got my food. So just give me the head without the popcorn. And he's like, oh, it's going to cost the same. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just want the head. He's like, you want the drink with it? I'm like, I don't want the drink. He's like, are you sure you don't want the popcorn? Like, it's free. It comes with the helmet. Like, I got to charge you the full $80 anyways. And I was like, nah, like I actually just saw the movie. I already had my sweet treats and my tummy was already hurting, so I'm not going to eat a whole large popcorn and get the drink. So I was like, just give me the head. He gives me the head. Pause. I get Galactus, and my brother and I are walking out, and my brother looks at Galactus's nose and he's like, is there a little mark on his nose? And there was like a black mark like across the nose, but it was like, it wasn't something you could wash off. It was like indented into the face. And you know, my uncle's a superhero fan, and so I don't want to give him the $80 popcorn bucket and have it have a little thing on it. You know, that's like a collector's worst nightmare. So I took the Galactus popcorn bucket back over to the guy at concessions and I said, hey dude, this is really a weird question. It is kind of embarrassing, but like there's a mark on my Galactus popcorn bucket head. And I'm wondering if the other ones have the mark or if you can get me one that doesn't have the mark. And he was very nice and he went and got a new one. No mark on the nose. Yeah, I took the bus and then the train home with this bucket. He's growing on me for sure. It's going to be like fostering a dog where you kind of grow some sort of connection to it, and then someone adopts the dog and you got to say bye forever. Okay, so I get my first piece attached to the outside, and Taylor and I work on this puzzle for like a while. And we were not getting anywhere. We could not find side pieces. We had a lot of goofy fun.
God is greater, God is our savior. Jesus, come down, you reach those heights. He is my friend, he is my neighbor, he's my savior, he's the Jesus son of God in all the ways you take. In a fight, I can't even help it. I don't even know if Jesus was like, what?
Is that like a custom
But goofy fun isn't what we need. We need a puzzle that's going to win us $100,000. And I had a few days until I had to leave for a family vacation that I was going on. At the same time, you know, I'm prepping to release my music, my YouTube video. I'm just like, I don't think we can finish this puzzle, just the two of us. And I also don't want to go on vacation, come back, and then it's like you know, it's too much. So I made the executive decision. I packed the puzzle up. I tried to, you know, keep a lot of the side pieces together. Yeah, you can put it back there. What's up, guys? The puzzle's going on vacation. Goo 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 goo. What is that?
Puka beads. It's gonna be a tough one.
And my dad packed it in the back of the car, and we drove down to a place called Roach, Missouri. We were in a town called Roach, in Missouri. Roach. So my plan was to go on my family vacation, and hopefully my 15 some relatives would be able to help me out and, you know, maybe win a lot of money for my family. You know, that 100K could go a long way. Oh, we unpacked the puzzle on Thursday when we arrived in Roach. I laid out all the pieces, and most of the edge pieces that I tried to keep together were not together anymore. Sorry, Galactus, don't want to waste your battery. So I put the puzzle out. People were not that interested at first. You get to a lake house and it's like, you want to go out on the lake, you want to get some sun, you want to talk to everybody. No one's trying to do a QR code puzzle. It doesn't even look like a fun puzzle to do. The more I did this puzzle these past couple weeks, the more I really just wanted to do a normal puzzle. Most people were not interested in it. My cousin Sophie was the first one to like really work on it, and she just started by organizing all of the pieces by the orientation, where the nubs are on the piece. And this is a really smart idea, but it didn't really help as much in the early game when all we have is the edge pieces. It's like, okay, well, almost every piece has a nub or a space in there, so we got to go through all these things. But once it gets closer to the end and maybe you have 3 different sides that you can solve, then you can kind of go to the organization and be like, okay, 3 nubs next to each other, let's grab these ones and try them. Does that make sense at all? But the organization made it feel like this was something we could accomplish, you know? And finally, before the end of the first day, more people decided to check out the puzzle. You know, as it got later, more people surrounded it, and we kind of learned just how hard it actually was. Once you have 6 or 7 people surrounding a table trying to connect all the pieces and no one can do it, and you're just stuck with this border, you know, it starts to make you think, hey, maybe this is bullshit. Once we had most of the edge, we were still missing a few pieces, and I was like, it's got to be somewhere in there. How do you solve a puzzle and then pack it back up to sell it on eBay, and you're missing side pieces and you didn't notice? Like, I find guys like that really interesting, you know? I'm like, if my eBay guy was not a trusted source, then I'm going to ruin his resale business. You can't sell a puzzle that doesn't have all the pieces. But I thought they were just hidden. So once we had most of the edge, we decided it was taking up too much of the table, and we were like, let's move the puzzle to another table so we can spread out the unsolved pieces. And the table that we had that we put the puzzle onto ended up being the exact size of the puzzle. It was almost like it was fate. Someone got the first piece of the inside attached to this edge piece, but the edge pieces next to it were gone. As far as we knew, the piece was not touching any other pieces, so it didn't really help that much. But I really was starting to be like, there are for sure missing pieces in this puzzle, which brings me back to, why would you sell a puzzle online if you don't have all the pieces? I'll come back to that later again, but let me, like, it just boggles my mind. I'm like, don't sell a puzzle that doesn't have all the pieces. Don't, like, what, like, huh? My cousin found piece number 2 that attached to the edge. And it was actually, attached to other things. I have to come back and record this later. So, transition. Hello, I'm back. It's been days. I think we were out doing stuff most of the day Friday, so it wasn't until like 8 p.m. that we went back around to the puzzle on Friday night. And, it wasn't looking great. There's these 3 black squares that are in like 3 of the corners of the QR code, and you can see them starting to piece together those corners, but it still didn't even help. The pieces were too small to be able to tell. It really was going slowly. And all you can really do at a certain point with the puzzle is just sit there and stare at it. And, we all, after enough time had passed, we were all just kind of sitting there looking at the puzzle, hoping it freaking solves itself. You right there? I felt like I was going crazy. I was getting like delusional. I started seeing photos inside of the pieces the longer I stared at them. This looks like it spells something almost. I think it's trying to tell us something. Saturday afternoon, we got back around to the puzzle. The 3 corners were kind of getting finished. It did not feel very hopeful. I gotta sue the guy that sold this to me. And as people started to get better at finding the pieces, I started to notice that I wasn't getting better at finding the pieces. So when I say we connected these things together, I might have been the worst person in my family at doing this. I just was staring at it, and then I'd space out, and then I'd not really know what piece to look at, so I'm just sort of staring at the whole thing. I knew there were better candidates at solving the puzzle, so I did other stuff, okay? There were fireworks outside at one point. Yay! My cousin did a big trick for everybody. Yes. I found a frog outside. I saw a frog out here. Oh, there he is. Oh, too many spider webs. And when I checked the puzzle the next day at noon, it was in rough shape. We had less than 24 hours left of the vacation already. So this is what it looks like at 12:19 p.m. And if you go and take a look at 6:26, not a lot was getting done with 15 hours left. However, that night, a tactic started to emerge, a new strategy for the people who were still looking for puzzle pieces. I saw my brother trying to solve the puzzle, and he had his phone up with a photo of the puzzle piece he was trying to get, and then he would take the phone around to the pieces on the other table and see if he can find one without having to go there and back and there and back. Up until now, not a lot of strategies have taken place to find the pieces. It's been pretty much exclusively hard work. And the pieces were so hard to find that felt like it was every 30 minutes that someone would find one piece, and then everyone would like clap for them.
Maybe it's a different nubby one.
Oh gosh, guys. And one of my cousins started doing this thing that spread to everyone else where when anyone would find a piece, they would yell boom shakalaka for some reason in the house.
Boom shakalaka!
And so during the day, you'd be doing other things around the house and you would just hear someone yell boom shakalaka upstairs and everyone would start clapping for them. And of course, the morale is great and everything, but you know, when everyone else gets to have boom shakalakas and I can't do it because I'm too dumb, you know, maybe I got bitter about it. I don't know.
Boom shakalaka!
How do you keep getting them?
How are you doing this?
Boom shakalaka!
Slowly but surely, the puzzle's getting done. At 9 p.m., with 12 hours till we have to go home, I thought there was maybe a 30-40% chance of us finishing the puzzle. I mean, it was true that the puzzle's missing pieces at this point. We knew that for sure. There were a lot of pieces that had 3 or 4 sides surrounding the puzzle piece, which means it should be really easy to find. But usually if you looked for a little bit and couldn't find it, that meant that the guy who sold me the puzzle left puzzle pieces out of the puzzle when he put the puzzle on eBay. And not just a puzzle, but a puzzle that requires you to have a full image in order to take the QR code scan. Oh yeah, also at this point, we figured out that my theory about the washed out pieces in the bottom left, that was not true. The pieces around it were still glossy, which told me that the guy who made this puzzle probably made the whole border, but he might have not actually solved the thing at all. And the longer the night went on, the more people were trying out the new phone strategy. Everyone was working together. It was beautiful. Not me though. I decided to make cinnamon rolls.
Usually, Jesus.
You know, I can help them out in other ways. I have a different talent pool. I don't have a puzzle heavy build. And again, every time someone got a puzzle piece, everyone would applaud them.
I'm happy for them.
They'd yell boom shakalaka, and I'm happy for them. But at the same time, you can see in my face a puzzle lover that can keep up with the other puzzle enthusiasts. That's all I really wanted. There was a moment where I was in the kitchen and I immediately was like, I can sense that someone's about to get a piece. And so I started recording, and right as I hit the record button, someone found it. I'm saying I can help in different ways, different talent pools. I can predict certain things. You know, when it gets to 11 p.m. and people are starting to think about going to bed so they can wake up the next day to leave, it's not really a good look. 11 p.m. with the hardest part of the puzzle missing. But obviously, as you do more of the puzzle, there are less puzzle pieces in the pool, and it's easier to find it the closer you get to the end. So I thought there might be an exponential increase of puzzle pieces being found as we got towards the end. Puzzle can sneak up on you. You could think that there's so much left and there's no hope and give up, but it could be right around the corner. And as the clock struck midnight, the morale in the room was going down. Even when someone would get a piece, the boom shakalakas were just not as hopeful anymore. This is the one I want to get.
Boom shakalaka.
And I think if there's one effect that the puzzle had on my family in the long term, is that it really made all of us actually hate David Dobrik more than we already did. And I think it's beautiful that a family could come together and find equal ground to stand on.
Hold it. Oop.
There are 8 hours left. I set up a camera here. You can see me kind of running around trying to help and not being useful at all. And it was around 2 a.m. that our star player, Sophie, decided to go to bed. I can really only relate this to like having a star player on your basketball team and then having them tear their Achilles like in the last quarter of the game. She was the one getting the majority of the pieces, and for it to be 2 a.m. and just have a bunch of dumb boys trying to finish it, that one really hit hard. That one really hurt. But my brother was kind of locked in and he was staying focused, and he started doing pieces that weren't even connected to the inside of the puzzle. He just had little middle pieces that he was creating. At this point, honestly, I think I just blacked out, and all I could see was David, you know, just David laughing at me after I felt so useless for bringing this puzzle on vacation and thinking that it would actually get finished. It seemed like we could do it, but at the same time, I think we were all gassed out. We had to wake up at like 8 a.m. the next day. So it's true. We went to bed. We called it and we went to bed with just a little bit of the puzzle left. And honestly, I just prayed that I would wake up and someone would solve the puzzle. That's my only hope at this point, my Hail Mary. And as I woke up and I rolled over that morning and I looked at my phone, I got a text from my uncle, a selfie, showing that my aunt had finished the puzzle. She actually just finished the puzzle that morning. Obviously didn't completely finish it, because as I learned at the very end of the puzzle, there were 14 pieces missing in my puzzle. You know, how can anyone trust me to be the puzzle guy next year if I'm bringing this hard ass puzzle and there's 14 pieces missing?
Purchases. I would like to leave feedback. I feel like I have to say negative. Brought it to my family vacation. Nothing you can do but keep moving on. Item description, I have to make 2 stars. Shipping cost, that's fair. Ooh, I can leave an image. 2 different photos. I think that's the same photo. Thank you for your feedback. That'll teach him. I mean, this person has a 99.2% positive feedback, so I have to assume that it was just an honest mistake. Well, I really hope that your copy of Female Metabolic Renewal Program isn't missing vital exercises. Almost feels like a couple pieces of the puzzle missing.
And you might be surprised to hear, but when we took a photo of the puzzle, the QR code did actually send us somewhere. It sent us to the link of shopqrpuzzle.com, which is a domain that is now for sale on GoDaddy. Yeah, no prize, not even a website to go to, and I just packed the puzzle up. That was it. That was the end of the story. But isn't it true that all you can really say at the end of this is that the real prize was doing the puzzle and becoming closer to my family and closer to my roots and closer to David Dobrik and his vlog squad? And I think, of course I would have been more satisfied if I got to scan it and then they actually like told me what the prize was, but I guess we'll never know. I guess we will never know. What's up, guys? So I actually realized that I didn't give my opinion on if the puzzle is a scam or not. I don't know. I honestly don't really care that much, but I think the fact that the odds are so bad is really what makes it bad, because you already know you're going to profit off of it. So it's just a choice you're making to massively, make the odds way too hard for anyone. Thank you for watching this video. I really enjoyed making it. If there are any other influencer products that you think would be good for a video like this, please let me know, because I had a lot of fun making it. I'm trying to post weekly on this channel. Lollapalooza is this weekend in Chicago, and I'm going to see a bunch of shows for artists I like, and so who knows if a video will be out next week, but we'll see. I will never stop the grind again to give my audience the best YouTube experience they can possibly have. Okay, that's it. Thank you to Taylor, and my extended family, and my cousin's boyfriend for being those are all the people that helped make the puzzle. Okay, that's it. Have a good day. I put out a song last week if you didn't see it yet, so it'll be down there in the description. Bye.